Hey, what's up, everybody? Just kind of jamming out here. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a great marathon so far, raising money for Feed the Kids, and I think that is just fantastic. I hope you're all doing well. My name is moonblazewolf. You can call me Blaze. And I'm going to be running a game by myself here, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the SNES. And then afterwards, I'm actually sticking around for a Super Mario RPG randomizer race with my good friend Sonny Rath. So please make sure you stick around for both of those runs. Good little wholesome late night entertainment for everybody here. And I hope you really enjoy the runs. So this game is a new game to me, but I really enjoy it. It's a good old-fashioned action platformer. And we'll kick it off here in just a moment, but we gotta watch Rita rise here and threaten Angel City. And we'll get started here in just a moment. But it's my first time running this game in a marathon, so I'm really excited. I hope it goes well. I'll definitely talk about the game a fair amount as we go through. There's 5 stages where we'll be fighting as the Rangers, and then we got a little surprise at the end for everybody. So I hope you are all ready for the run. I'm just gonna... whoop, I did not mean to do that. There we go. Trying to move my timer, and I accidentally had a little fun with it there inadvertently. So but yeah, we'll get started here in just a second. Time will start when I gain control of my first ranger, who is going to be Kimberly. We're only going to be using 2 of the 5 rangers during this run, any percent run. There's actually a couple different categories for this game. There is a 5 all rangers run where you have to use each one once. There's actually a meme category called Billy percent also, where you have to use Billy in all 5 levels. So poor Billy, he tries his best, but yeah, the different characters have slightly different attacks, slightly different weapons, and things like that. So you'll see at least these 2 as we go along, and I think we'll get started here in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and select Kimberly, and then time will start when I gain control here for level 1. So I will call it out, and yeah, let's have a good run, everybody, and keep those donations coming. All right, so let's get going here, and just going to do some good old-fashioned combat here. Kimberly, we got the Putty Patrol threatening the town. Okay, so there's basically combos, like a lot of these kind of punching, fighting kind of games. So the way the progression works in this one is you have 3 weak attacks into a strong attack. Enemies also they deal different amounts of damage. So mathematically, the best I've been able to figure it out is the weak attacks deal 1 damage and the strong attack deals 3, for a grand total of 6. Most of the enemies in the game, not counting these gray ones that die to 1 hit, actually die to exactly 6 damage, so exactly 1 full combo. So herein lies one of the interesting conundrums with this game, which is if your combo gets disrupted for any reason, you basically end up spending double the time to kill 1 enemy, because you have to redo all 3 weak attacks. You can't just jump to the strong attack. It's just the 4th attack in your sequence. So as much as possible, I'm going to be wanting to do full combos on the enemies that is going to impact. And the levels all progress basically this way. These first 5 levels, you get... first of all, you get a nice nostalgia kick here with the Morphin time, but then you get your weapon, you get slightly better, slightly faster attacks. Kimberly also gets a ranged attack that is occasionally useful. It's basically like a ranged weak attack. But that last sequence there, you saw one of the really important skills of this game, I would say. And that is for the enemies that require multiple hits to kill. If you line them up just right, if you line them up so they're on top of each other, you can take out multiples at one time. So a lot of the quote-unquote speed tech in this game is basically getting really good at stacking the enemies on top of each other in certain spots, and then taking them all out in one sequence of attacks. Because your attacks, whether you are a ranger or whether you are in human, like normal form, they basically pass through. So anything that's in the path of your fist, anything that's in the path of your foot, anything that's in the path of your weapon is going to go ahead and take that hit. We got one cool trick coming up here. I'll try to get it. Oh, I got it. Perfect. So if you hit those three coming off the truck there, they just die instantly for some reason. So I actually got that perfect. That is one of the harder tricks in the run to do, so I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, a lot of what kind of goes into this game from a speed tech perspective is really just about managing the enemies on screen, lining them up like that so you can take out a bunch of them at once, and then not accidentally throwing them off the screen like I did there. So yeah, so far so good. Those items are more actually obstacles. This is my first boss, by the way. This is Bones. You will probably, if you are familiar with the show, recognize a lot of the bosses in this game. They are all from the first season of the TV show, which I will admit, when I started learning the run, I went back and started watching on Netflix because I wanted to get myself reacquainted with them. So the boss fights are all different and interesting. This one has 3 cycles. So I'm kind of in the middle of cycle 2 right now where he will do this. You can skip that second reform, but I didn't quite get it. And then from here, I almost got the quick kill, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish him off with that. So, all right. And that is the first stage down. I don't have my splits up, but I know for a fact from my practice earlier that if I was keeping track of my splits, that would be a gold split for me for that stage. So go me. But now we're going to switch to Zack for section 2, or area 2, I should say. The reason we're going to use Zack for area 2, this is a personal preference. I believe the world record run and most of the top runners of this game will use Trini for this area. For me, I really like to use Zack's low attack, which I haven't really talked about at all yet. But his low attack is very fast, very consistent. And these green putty patrol are absolutely the worst enemies in the entire game. They're very jumpy. They're very, very difficult to pin down with a combo. And so having Zack, who can do the kicks very consistently, very quickly, really helps out a lot. So I'm just gonna run through some of these guys. Oh, he juked me. That was a little weird. Don't do that. So yeah, the problem with these guys, why they're so difficult to kill, is they like to get airborne. And when you hit an enemy while they are not planted on the ground, it actually disrupts your combo. So you have to start over again. So they're the jumpiest of enemies, which makes them just extremely difficult to pin down in combo. And they tend to take a lot of your time. Fun fact here, the next enemies in the sequence... Oh, shoot, I threw that guy the wrong way. The next enemies in this sequence actually spawn when you kick those barrels, so that's how I was trying to do that. But yeah, just a lot more enemy management here. I'm trying to get all these guys together, so again, I can kind of take them out all at once like that. You can try to throw the green guys. I'll go ahead and try it once here. It usually doesn't go that well, but hey, we got there, so... Yeah, he's got the good spin attack. Zack's got the moves. We'll see a little more of that later, too. This game is very, very 90s, for better or for worse, so... Yeah, about that. We'll talk about the lips a little bit more later. The lips personally make me uncomfortable, and I'm actually going... I have an alternate ending to show you all that doesn't include the big lips, so... Yeah, so this is actually... I'm actually glad, Ephraim, that you brought that up, because this is kind of like the first game in the Axum Rangers block, because with any luck, in my second game here, we will see the Axum Rangers as well. This is the first really hard platforming sequence of the game, and I'm a little off my cycle already, so I'm just gonna try to... That's what I didn't want to have happen. Alright, I'm kind of just scrambling here, so we'll make this work. I don't want to fall off the platform again. This is definitely a unfortunate time loss, but it's a pretty tough cycle to hit. And then we've got the conveyor belts, which are oddly difficult to work with, because when you get to the end of the platform and the putty patrol enemies aren't there yet, it'll actually kind of move them out of your strike zone. So it just becomes kind of awkward. We got the flaming debris and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's a little bit of a mess, so we're just gonna make the best of it here. God, see, it's like I had that lined up, and then you just you're not helping flaming debris. All right, little trick here. I'm gonna go ahead and use the power early on because I'm gonna be able to refill it later before the boss. Those two guys are really annoying, so we're just gonna take them out now. Heat up some water coolers, I guess, for some reason. I hope not. All right, so this is... Oh, nice, I nailed that. Okay, and then I messed up the next jump, but that's okay. So there's my bomb refill. Just want to get that here. Little leap of faith there. Very nicely done. Whoops. And then I screwed that jump up. Okay. The platforming in this game, we'll just say, is a little bit temperamental. There's a lot of it in this stage. There's a lot more of it in Area 4, which I will deliberately be taking a little bit slow because I don't want to fall off the end of the world and just take an unfortunate death. So, but yeah, sometimes you will grab what you're trying to grab, sometimes you will not. It is a little bit awkward that way. Oh, he didn't spawn yet. Yeah. Oh, it's just that guy. That's right, there's 4 there. You're not helping flaming debris, exactly. And then this is just what you would think is a nice simple platforming section with no enemies, but these jumps are pretty tricky because, again, just see, I got lucky there. I hit the edge of that upper platform. I didn't think I was going to make that jump. I miraculously did. And this guy scares me. See, he almost knocked me off there because I was kind of being a little bit careful. He really tried to get me. This game does have really good variety. It has really good flavor and a lot of replayability. I saw someone mentioning that in the chat, so I'm just going to kind of call that out. Because obviously you can play with all the different Rangers. You can kind of just play the game however you want. If you have if you're a fan of a particular Ranger, you can just play the whole game as them. You know, you can play all Billy if you want to. So there's just a lot of stuff there. So, but we're almost to the second boss. Second boss is the gnarly gnome, and this is a very, very tricky boss to fight optimally because you'll see him teleporting around. There are some tricks to being able to get multiple hits on him, but a lot of times, that was bad. A lot of times you're only going to be able to get 1 hit on him before he does his disappearing act again. If you can get 3, you're in pretty good shape, but again, those are all weak attacks. So if you can somehow land that full combo, that's when you're getting the maximum damage. And if he hits you with his rake, the rake is apparently the strongest thing in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers universe, so... Because yeah, that rake hurts. This is actually going pretty well, all things considered. He's almost to his flashing phase, which is where I will hopefully speed things up quite a bit. Kind of late. He's kind of... There we go. All right, so I want to hit him with all this.